Welcome to the Generation X-Wing podcast, a modern look at a retro lifestyle. My name is Rob Williams, and I'm here with
Jamie Pale Rider,
as well as
Steve Hose-Nose Lewis,
as well as
Steve 3.
Hello, boyos. How you doing?
Good evening. Good evening.
Like we weren't even talking off air about how you guys were doing.
super duper.
Super duper. Really excited about today's episode. This was an idea from Hose Nose. He wanted to talk about 80s sitcoms. Actually, honestly, Steve kind of surprised me. I didn't think you were actually the 80s sitcom kind of guy. Why'd you choose this one?
For looking back at a retro lifestyle.
Oh, well. Here, hang on. This is for...
And
That's for you,
love
sir.
that. Yeah.
That's for you. A little laugh track. We're not going to overuse that one because I know Jamie's going to break it. He's such a funny guy, right, Jamie?
I wish I could break your soundboard.
Oh, we got a little ASMR for you, by the way. Steve, you got something for... hang on. Oh, it's not coming out. It's not coming out, Steve.
What?
It's not...
Oh, I'm gonna just say that was rubbish.
Yeah, that was rubbish.
Yeah,
Here, here we go. Hang on.
Your ASMR is bad and you should feel bad.
Here we go.
Like in life.
We had a great beard ASMR for you, Jamie. It was beautiful.
I clicked it off. Here.
Okay, here you go.
Better.
There you go.
These guys get it. The crowd gets it.
So yeah, the 80s was so much more funny.
All right, hang on. Before we get to the 80s, and I'll put that thing away. Hello, Tony, by the way. I hear you're here early, so he was waiting for the doors to open.
Hello, Tony.
We've got an announcement. I know Tony's going to be super excited about this one. He's been bugging us about this one. So, Jamie, tell everybody about the special announcement that's going on.
So the Ready to Believe YouTube series that we've been doing about all things Ghostbusters and costuming and all that stuff. We got noticed by some people. So we're officially ambassadors for the Tools and Talent guy.
That is awesome.
What that means is basically we're going to be getting products to review and kind of showcase. So he mostly, if for those of you that don't know, he mostly does costume centric stuff. I already did kind of a video on installing his HasLab Proton Pack hose upgrade, which is really good. Then we did another video on the belt that he put out. So yeah, we're gonna have more really cool stuff to showcase on our channel and do reviews on pretty quickly, actually. So yeah, like if you go to the Tools and Talent website right now, you'll see my smiling face and Rob's very serious face on their ambassadors page. Yeah, and definitely more to come. But yeah, that's our big announcement.
Yeah, it's kind of it's almost like a sponsorship, and it's one of those things where we have to on the YouTube video now make sure we select the button that says paid promotion, because it is a cool moment for us to get these items and review it, like officially review it, and they're great. It's great stuff too. So like we did the belt recently, and you were in constant contact with Tools and Talent for other stuff. So this is perfect. This is really excited about this.
Yeah,
so.
That's the thing. Like I don't like it's a partnership, but we wouldn't have entered the partnership if we hadn't already been exposed to Doc of Tools and Talent and to his product. So like I said, I'm already rocking 2 of his products and I'm extremely happy with them. So it's not something we would have done if he was making substandard products. Like the stuff he makes is really good. So I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah. This is going to be so much fun. We're gonna be doing this really soon, actually. So we'll get another video going. So so there you go. Great news. I'm really excited. This is kind of a first for us, which is even more special. So anyways, there you go. Let's get on to 80s sitcom and how this is going to work. off air, we made a list of like our 5 favorite sitcoms, and we're going to do what's called a tier list. Now, let me show you the tier list here. Oops, hang on. I just unshared it. Unfortunately, you guys didn't see the huge mistake that I just made, but that's okay. It's smooth as silk. Are you guys looking at it right now?
Yep.
Awesome. So this is our tier list. It's going to be great audio here, but we'll make sure that you're all part of it. In the bottom of our tier list, we've done this with The Simpsons in the past, me and Jamie, is a list of all these 80s sitcoms. We even put some Brit ones in there for Steve 3. So if you're into British sitcoms, we got you covered. And we're going to rate our favorite sitcoms. Now, we're not going to touch everyone on here. I just put a whole bunch on here just to flood the system, and then we'll pick which ones we like best. And I'm pretty sure if everybody's had a look on it, yours is on here somewhere. One of your 5 is up here. And we picked sitcoms that were primarily 80s. For example, things like not Married with Children. Simpsons was technically started in 89, but it's mostly a 90s or now an aughts and 10s and 20s sitcom. And there's others that are like mostly 90s. Saved by the Bell, for example, was 89, but it's mostly a 90s sitcom. And there were some that are mostly 70s, like Happy Days. So we're kind of trying to find somewhere in the middle here. There are 3 on here, like Taxi, which is half and half. So I put it up there anyways. But we'll get into that. So are you guys ready? I'm going to start with Hose Nose. Since you were the one that came up with this idea, pick one of the sitcoms that was on your list, and we're going to discuss and see where we rate it.
Number 1 on my list with a bullet was Cheers.
Cheers. I think that's one that's on a lot of people's list. I'm going to start on S tier since it's one of your favorites. Tell us why you like Cheers.
Just the characters are so great, and they're so memorable. They each had their own moments, each had their own taglines, it wasn't just about Sam and Diane. It was Woody and Norm and everybody, the whole gang. So it was a lot, and really great writing and acting as well. So it was an awesome show.
So was sorry, go ahead.
For a show where every episode was basically a bottle episode, it was extremely well done. They got a lot of mileage out of that bar set. Did they ever even leave the bar?
A couple times. They went to that other bar. What was the competitor's bar's name?
The Finch and Bull. No, that's the real one.
No, it was that other guy who was always getting the best of Sam. Oh, now it's driving me nuts. Steve, did you watch Cheers?
I watched a few episodes of Cheers. It wasn't my staple go-to because, with 3 channels, we got an extra one, number 4, and that used to have a lot of American or North American shows. So I do remember watching Cheers, but I was never a devout fan. I wouldn't be able to tell you everyone's name. I'd recognize them, but didn't follow the story from day one.
Gary's Old Town Tavern. That's what it was. But so who's your favorite character?
Me, it's Cliff Clavin, the trivia master.
Oh, he's so good. I love him so much. Yorkshire pudding is not really a pudding at all. It's one of my favorite lines from him. So I was my nickname in high school was Woody because I originally thought it was because I kind of looked like Woody Harrelson.
It's because of your limited intellect, right?
It was because of the limited intellect.
I'm so sorry.
And naivety. It was because I was naive. I'm slow, and I kind of looked like him as well. I looked more like him when I was younger than I do older.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Rob, Woody was my favorite character.
He was my favorite character too. Him and Cliff, definitely. But every time Norm came in, you gotta say Norm. So, Steve, Jamie, would you agree with this S tier?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Top of my list as well.
Is it you're on your list as well?
Yeah, it's number 1.
Is number 1, eh?
Yep.
That's awesome.
My favorite episode, just really quick, was the one where Norm became a professional beer taster. when he realized that when he wasn't just like swilling beer as quick as he could, and he was actually like stopping to taste it, he was extremely good at it.
I can't remember what my favorite episode was. I do have a memory of the very last episode, and they went live to the cast before or after they they aired it, and the entire cast was drunk out of their ass. And they were on live. I think it was like ET live or something like that. And they were all drunk. And like Woody is not. He's naive on the show, but not in real life. And
can you really, Rob? Can you really say this is an S tier if your favorite show was the last one?
No, I'm not saying the favorite show is my last one. You can have a favorite show be the last one. It could go out with a bang. But no, I'm just that was one of my memories of that was when they were drunk out of their ass. Hello, Vexy Vapor, by the way. Hello, Trip. Trip says you wouldn't have Fraser without Cheers. Now, it is the 90s.
100%.
But I remember liking Fraser, but I kind of like Cheers was way better.
Frasier was a really good show in its own right. I feel like a lot of people would forget that it was a spin-off of Cheers.
I remember Frasier more than I remember Cheers, and I think it was probably Frasier that made me look into where it came from. But it was for me, Cheers was because of Woody Harrelson and Ted Danson and everyone else that was in it. It wasn't because of the show, it's because I knew them, and then that led me to that show where it all started.
Any of you guys watch The Good Place?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not an 80s show, but Ted Danson is
brilliant.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so freaking funny in that show.
And on Curb Your Enthusiasm. When he makes appearances in that, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Hose Nose or Jamie, do you like Cheers before or after Diana? Or during the Diane stage? Or you like Diane better?
Yeah.
And Rebecca?
Yeah.
Hose Nose, you too?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Oh wow, I couldn't stand Diane.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't stand her.
Yeah, I felt the same way about it. Was Kirstie Alley, right?
Kirstie Alley, yeah.
Yeah.
I was so much more into Kirstie Alley. I had a crush on her, but at the same time, I just felt she was a more.
You're biased. That's what you're saying.
Well, yeah, totally. Why wouldn't I be? It's she was also.
Was she a better character, or she just make your pants?
I found she was. No, she was a better character. I enjoyed. I thought she was much funnier than Shelley Long. Shelley Long was a one-trick pony for the show. It was always the kind of the fussy sort of. It didn't make sense why Sam liked her
because she was his opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah,
you had to work. You had to work harder.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that shtick of opposites.
Dude, that was a shtick in like 99% of the sitcoms.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, and it's still I don't buy that one. I think he worked better with Rebecca.
Everybody wanted them to get. It's like Moonlighting with Bruce Willis. They want them to get together.
Well, they won't. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but you can only drag that on for so long. I mean, Friends said that.
Dude, sitcoms in the 80s made like 10 seasons out of Will They, Won't They? They were professionals.
How are sitcoms going now?
Yeah, because nowadays it's easy. It's Tinder, in, out, on to the next.
Hang on. Trip says, here comes Rob again with the horrendous takes. Come on, Trip. I'm sorry. No,
I'm not going to say Trip is right, but
I'm definitely not going to say Trip is right. I wish I could do a poll on this darn thing. She was too much of a prude. Sam is not into. Sam's totally not into the prudish sort of stuff. I mean, he's always hitting on the girls, always hitting the girls.
How do you know what Sam is into?
Rob, it's
because that was part of the show.
It's like we just said, opposites attract.
Yeah, 100%.
And the other one was too much like you, so you went with the opposite.
It's just like you guys are like, it's funny hat, big hats, funny. It's all right. Yeah. Big
Dude,
prude,
sitcoms were not a deep thinker pieces of media.
Yeah, but somehow Cheers really made it fun. It was just all the stuff they get into, the silly things. I remember when Woody would try to run for mayor, I believe, in his Kelly song. Kelly. I still love that. I can play that.
Yeah, great song.
It's great. It's a great song. All right, so the good choice, Hose Nose. I'm going to keep it at S tier. It's not my favorite, but I'm going to definitely keep it at S tier. So I watched this with my family all the time. It was a great sit down with the family show.
Is S tier not all four agreements though?
No, we can. Okay. No, I think three.
Right.
You can vote it like 3 out of 4. Majority rules on this one.
Okay.
So
I've been overruled.
I've been overruled with Shelley Long, but I'm not getting overruled with the Cheers. So I'm okay with that. You guys can have Shelley Long and her wonderful career.
God, yeah, I forgot about Rhea Perlman. Holy cow, that cast was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cast was absolutely crazy.
Had a couple cameos too, didn't he? As her spouse?
Who?
Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not Danny DeVito.
Did he not?
Nope.
No, her
because
husband
was
go on, Rob.
I was going to give you there was a second spin-off of the show that you guys, very little known show. I think it's Here's the Tortellis. Yeah, I think it lasted a season. It was about, and it just died. Oh, that one scene where we almost see Norm's wife, Vera, but you get the pie in the face. That is,
I was more interested in seeing Maris.
Maris.
Fraser's wife, or sorry,
yeah. I mean, you're talking about Fraser's brother.
Yeah, Niles' wife.
Niles, yeah. So hello, weirdos, by the way. All right, so I'm going to skip Jamie for a second here. I'll let Jamie pick another one on the list. I want to go to Steve, our Brit correspondent. By the way, it's not are serial TV shows. So
it's not like it's an unfair thing. It's just the way it is. When I grew up, I was in England, and so I didn't get these shows. They did come across eventually, but I don't think it was during the time they were airing for reals. You know. Yeah. So unfortunately for me and for everyone else, it's going to be British sitcoms. And again, it's probably the same for you guys. I don't think you got the British ones until after the fact, right? But man, you got to love some of that British humor. So my top pick of all of them is I'm going to go with Only Fools and Horses. And Only Fools and Horses was around for years. And the best thing about Only Fools and Horses was that because it ran for so long, they would do Christmas specials. And you would just long, even if the series wasn't running anymore, they would come back for an Only Fools and Horses Christmas special. And you knew it was going to be good, and they never let you down.
I remember you discussing this when we had a whole episode on British comedy, and you love the show. And you were telling me about some of the Christmas specials. What was one of them that I'm trying to remember? Can you give me a hint of what one of the Christmas specials is about? I'm sorry. I totally don't remember. I haven't seen the show.
I mean, one of the specials that I remember, whether it was Christmas or which one it was it had this one scene in it. And it's always one scene that will stand up for you. And there was loads of scenes in Only Fools and Horses that I can remember. Which one they were at, I don't know. But there was one scene where Dowboy, now Dowboy is played by David Jason, who is a very strong and well-respected comedian in England. Everything he does seems to be gold. He did Open All Hours. Yeah, he did a few serious detective shows as well. He's been around in British TV as a staple for years. But David Jason, Nicholas Lyndhurst, and the granddad was played by Buster Merryford after the original one passed away. But that's the only name I can remember. But there was one scene because do you know the premise of Only Fools and Horses, guys? Anyone?
I was going to ask you.
So basically, they're like market traders, East End market traders. They got no money. They buy all these dodgy goods. They go down the marketplace. They try and sell it and make money off it. They drive around in a little 3-wheeled van, and they just do. They're swindlers. And the tagline is this time next year, Rodney, we'll be millionaires. Because they're always trying to find that scam. They're always trying to find that thing to sell. One of them, they went out and bought paint. And it was radioactive paint. So he had job loads of paint and they didn't know it was radioactive, but then it glows in the dark. So everything they sold, anyone they sold the paint to, when it came to night, it was all. So that would be there was always a long story running up to the catastrophic failure of Dowboy's plan. So he had a heart of gold. He always wanted to make the money, but it always backfired in some way. And Rodney was his little brother who was so gullible. It was just so much fun, man. There was another Dowboy's always trying to get with the ladies, He's always trying to look cool. He's wearing his big long trench coat. His old 80s look, East End boy, looking all hip and trendy. There was one where they come into the bar and he's trying to get with the ladies and he's acting all cool. And he's like, don't worry, Rodney, I got this. Just that cool, just that cool. And he walks his way around the bar. And just as he's about to lean on the bar with the old elbow, the barman goes out the bar, lifts the bar top up, walks away, and you just see him go like that off screen. Just no good explaining it. It's just one of the best things I remember seeing. Just tears of laughter watching Only Fools and Horses. So definitely my top. I think the classic one for me, because you don't know it, so I'm going to have to tell you. But it's all three of them. They get jobs as cleaning chandeliers. So they go to all these rich people's houses to clean their chandeliers. So they don't know what they're doing. They haven't got a freaking clue. They turn up in a little 3-wheeled, dirty little van, get the ladders out. So you got Grandad and Rodney up on the ladders, and Dowboy's gone up into the attic to undo the nut that's holding on the chandelier. And he's shouting down to him, "Are you guys ready? You got to brace yourself. You can't afford it." So there's 1, 2, and they've gone. The whole show is them going through this whole thing of how they're going to get the chandelier down and make a load of money. 1, 2, and he hits the hammer on the peg, and the chandelier in the background just comes crashing down to the floor. They're standing there holding their net up to catch the one they're under. Simple comedy, but absolutely fucking priceless and classic. So much fun.
Have you guys watched that show at all, Jamie, Steve?
No, I kind of want to now.
Yeah, totally.
BritBox.
Love
Go get
physical
BritBox.
Get BritBox.
Yeah.
You gotta give
Yeah.
it 7 episodes. That's how it works.
Yeah.
I'll give it 7
Yeah. Well,
episodes.
7. Yeah. There's probably like, I don't know how many seasons there are, man. But
I think 7
Yeah,
episodes is 3 seasons in Brit Talk, isn't it?
yeah, it's even if you went and watched the classics, because one of the things when you mentioned doing this, what I would do is remember the shows that stood out to me, and then typically what we do on this is we go back and we see if they stand up and does it hold up, all the rest of it. I have a cunning plan. Yeah, so it's great to go and watch the clips of all these shows again, not the shows themselves, because that takes ages. And I've been doing that recently with the sci-fi classic Blake 7. I think I talked about this last time. And I've been going back and watching Blake 7, a 1970s sci-fi show that was on in Great Britain. And watching it now, does it stand up? No. But is it exciting to watch it again? Yes. So I'd have to watch an episode. And we probably should have done that. What we should have done is we should have picked an episode for all of us to watch. And then we could have come back and talked about that one episode of the 5 sitcoms. That would have been a good thing to do, I think.
We still can.
Maybe, we'll do that in the future. That sounds fun.
Why don't we do that for like in 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks? Pick one episode from well, as we go, maybe there's a show that each of us have kind of forgotten or haven't seen, and then we can try and pick at least one episode and try and dig that up. And I can search for that as well. I can.
God, I'm really worried that these sitcoms aren't going to hold up.
We just don't know, right?
God,
you just don't know.
Yeah.
This is really racist.
I'm just a little.
So this is going to be difficult because for me it's the top, right? For me it's just classic.
Hey,
it's
I'm putting it S tier because
so,
you're the only one that says it, and you have the right of way. So I'm going to totally give you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that one. All right, Jamie. Now, Cheers was taken. Give me another one. Give me another one.
I'm going with a darker horse. I'm going with a less safe pick. I'm not going down to my second pick. I'm putting out there Perfect Strangers.
I was curious if anybody would pick that
Larry.
one. Okay, I'm going to put it in an S, and then we'll
Cousin
discuss
Larry.
it.
Yeah,
Cousin Larry.
What was
definitely
the dance
not
they
an
did?
S. Yeah,
the dance was great.
Yeah,
Dance of Joy. That's right.
yeah, definitely not S. Maybe not even A. Like I said, this is not my second place pick.
Okay, so I'll put it B then for now.
Bronson Pinchot was hilarious.
He was.
And he carried that show. Like if there was no him, there was no show. But yeah, it was just him being a weirdo from some nondescript European country. And
so I have a question, Jamie, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I do have a question because I see the show. I've probably watched an episode or two of it. So I know what it is. Did this show start after Beverly Hills Cop or was it?
Good question, because I know
Cop?
Bronson Pinchot was like a recurring kind of side character, and he was hilarious in that too.
Hilarious in it was
Aquel.
I'm pretty sure it's after.
I'm looking it up right now. You guys talk
Perfect Strangers started in '86, and I want to say the first Beverly Hills Cop was '84.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but yeah,
84. Yeah, and Beverly Hills Cop was in '84. That's correct.
So there we go. So this came after the first Beverly Hills Cop, and I can see it because he's hilarious. There's not much else to be said. It was pretty run of the mill 80s sitcom.
Yeah,
formulaic. It was just they had their one character. They had their catchphrases. Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
They had the dance of joy. They even had a couple episodes where Cousin Larry went to nondescript European country.
That's right.
There's not much else to say. I don't know if anybody else wants to argue it down from a B. I probably won't fight you too hard.
Okay, so what was his name again in the show? Do you remember?
Balky?
Yeah, what's his last name?
Balky
Bartakamus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this Greek sort of land, I guess, eh?
Yeah, it was like vaguely Greek, maybe Italian. I don't know. His accent was all over the place, and just
don't say.
Like it wasn't even like a vaguely European accent. It was just like this made up, almost like it reminded me of like Mork from Mork
Oh,
and
is it-
Mindy.
Is it like
He's from the-
Borat?
Yeah, but more kind-hearted.
Yeah,
Much more kind-hearted. He was genuinely happy and cheerful. Like even in the show's intro, he's on that sitting on the back of that cart with
Oh,
says
yeah.
America or bust, and he's
Always
sitting there and
happy.
he's super excited. He's genuinely excited to be going to America. He's
Yeah,
from the
like-
Mediterranean island of Mypos, supposedly near Greece. That's what it is.
supposedly. Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, Cousin Larry was always the cynical guy, and Balky was always upbeat, happy, and kind-hearted. So it was the opposite thing. It's
For
the odd
8
couple. Just
I watched the show a lot as a kid. I couldn't tell you a single episode. It all just was kind of the same sort
it's
of
just generic 80s sitcom stuff,
yeah.
right? Like I'm pretty sure it's the same 12 rehashed plots of every sitcom, just over and over and over in different ways.
Was
Fish
it
out of
based
water,
on his
yeah.
pronunciation of stuff that made it funny? Was it literally the
It was-
same character from Beverly Hills
was
Cop, but just in
definitely
a script of funny?
kind of.
Not the same
mispronunciation?
character. Not the
Well,
same character.
it was the same. It was just vaguely European funny guy who doesn't understand basic North American things.
Yeah.
And he's so naive.
Like me.
Yeah, he's a fish out of water.
He was innocent, naive, and
Yeah.
kind-hearted. Whereas the Beverly Hills Cop, that guy was just smarmy and
He was goofy. He was
Yeah.
silly.
He was an artist.
he's an artist. Yeah. I watched the show. Like I said, I can't go any higher than a B, and that's
fair.
Yeah,
I would have settled for a C.
Oh, let's do it.
I can go
Okay.
for a C too.
I
There
mean,
you
if
go.
you guys argue for a C, like I said, I'm not fighting you on it.
Did you watch this, Hose Nose?
Yeah. I don't remember it as well as you guys do, but yeah, I definitely remember watching it and the Dance of Joy, and
What would you give it?
Everything. I'd give it in between there. Yeah.
Would
should we
you
do
watch
the Dance
it
of Joy?
like
and
a
turn it
C
off
plus?
before the end? Did you care about the plot, or did you have enough of the same old kind of shit you would turn it off, or was it better than
I
that?
always watched a full episode.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I don't remember enough to even know if I watched it fully.
C.
Did you
All right,
watch the
it is.
last one, Rob? Did Rob watch the last one, the season finale?
No, I did not.
The one where Cousin Larry and Balky were drunk as skunks.
Weirdos say C as well, so we'll go
Yeah,
with that.
that's fair.
So. I love how when I put the you guys, I don't know if you guys can see this, but when I put other people's comments up, it blocks Steve 3. It's lovely. So
I'm
Just get
glad
a
you like that.
Skywalker hat.
yeah.
Glad
Great.
you like that.
Stop being mean to Steve.
All right. My choice. I'm gonna start with Cosby Show.
Oh,
I know
this
this is
is
gonna be
going to be contentious. I'm going to
Yeah.
be.
It is controversial, but if you just go back to the show when it was happening
Yes.
and when you watched it and the joy it brought you, that's where it gets. That's what the tricky thing, right? That's the tricky thing, because I
is.
remember watching this. I remember watching this show and I remember finding it hilarious.
this like it is hard to discuss this show because this was the one show I watched on the regular all the time with my family. The feel goods that came out of this whole series every season as you got older, the kids got older, the music, like it was just so charming, so wonderful, so beautiful. I loved it. It had a voice for people. It just made me feel good. And it's like now knowing now what we do, it's like
It's tricky. It
is
Fully
tricky.
tarnished.
The way I would see it as a foreigner in a foreign land, in a foreign way, the way I look at it is like Jim will fix it. I used to love watching Jim will fix it as a kid. Jim will fix it. Jim would come on and bring your wishes come true. You get to meet your stars. You get to do the things you've always wanted to do as a kid.
Yes.
You know, I used to love that show, and I used to love seeing what everyone got from that show. Moving on to when they got found out of what a fucking piece of shit he was,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you not want to watch that show again, but you can't really take away the memories of how good it made you feel at the time you watched it. And I think that's the thing. None of us are going to sit here and say, good on him, he should never have got what he got. But we are going to say, it was funny while we watched it at the time, because at that point you're innocent to knowing anything different. I think my question would be, if he wasn't the main character doing the stuff that was written for him, would it be as funny? And if it would, then it's the show that's funny.
He was an accomplished comedian who was doing stand-up. So I have to believe that he had a hand in a lot of the writing.
I think Hose Nose keeps going in and out here.
Yeah, put him on the bottom.
He was on the bottom for a second there. I totally agree. It's really hard because it's Tony's kind of saying what I'm thinking. You can't take away the work from everyone else on the show. Like
Felicia Rashad was amazing.
Lisa Bonet,
and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like everyone behind the show. That's what I'm saying. If it wasn't, if you feel the show was only funny for that one person, then maybe you don't talk about it. But I don't think it's the one. I think it definitely is the icing on the.
Around.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was the major pillar of this show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was about the humor and kindness that was seen on the show. But some of my favorite moments is when, like, for example, Felicia Rashad is meeting what's his face, the boyfriend for the first time, and he's such a kind of a male chauvinist, but totally like oblivious to his male ideas. And Felicia Rashad is just kind of like, tell me more about what you think about the role of women. And it was just, he would bury himself further and further. And it was just good to see, Mrs. Huxtable kind of just let loose on him, or Theo just trying to like get that shirt sewn to make it look like Cockroach and him get the fancy shirt for the concert or something like that. And it's just like, there's so much good. Yeah, weirdos talk about Theo Huxtable. The one of my favorite scenes is when Theo and his dad are talking about money, and he goes through the Monopoly money, and here's how much you'll get, how much you pay for rent. Here's how much you'll buy a car. And he's like, I'm going to take the bus, and they're going back and forth with the money. And he goes, how much money you got left? And he's like, I think $10. And you gonna have a girlfriend? He's like, yeah. And he takes all the money, and he goes, now you've got nothing.
Yeah.
And I even used that clip for my students before, obviously, the situation. And it was just like, my God, I have so many fond memories of this show. It was just, and I do have fond memories of Bill Cosby's stand-up, but holy crap, is it tainted. But I don't want to say, you can't take away the good feelings. I'm not going to give it an S.
The show itself was pretty progressive.
It was.
And like the race stuff aside, which was pretty revolutionary, but also just like, okay, the dad is a doctor, like a practicing doctor. So yeah, he's probably the breadwinner in the family, but the wife was very, very, like, she was a super strong character in her own right. She wasn't just portrayed as the housewife. She wasn't just
she was a strong individual. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
It reminds me. It reminds me a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's kind of, to me, that's almost like a redo.
It's definitely like a spiritual successor to that.
Yes,
for
definitely.
sure. I was thinking the exact same thing.
You wouldn't have Fresh Prince.
Not trying to be controversial, but I actually agree. I agree, not by just agreeing with Tony, but I do think it is an A show. I really do. I think it was, like Jamie just said, I think it was groundbreaking. I think it held up some good points. I don't think you can mark it down for one person, one individual. I think if you look at it as a show and how the show was back in the 80s when we watched it, I still think it deserves an A. I think it was a great show. I just don't appreciate, what we know now.
I recuse myself.
Yeah, I get that. It's to me it would have been like, what's higher than S? It was just like, it was the show for me. But I have so many fond memories of this one, and I could talk forever about this show, all the wonderful memories, but I will give it an A, just based on that alone. And it's kind of a shame. Part of me still wants to go back and watch videos and watch, like, it's Grandpa and Grandma's birthday, and the whole family get together and sing a song and lip sync to a song on the stairs. And there's the daughter going, baby, baby, and it was just like, oh my god, it was such good stuff. And
It's almost like. Oh, sorry.
They made me aware of issues that I was not aware of as a white kid in Canada, and it made me aware of some of the things that it educated me and informed me a lot of the time, and which was it's a good thing you want from a show. It's a good thing you want when you got a little bit of humor that's not over the top, not your typical sitcom, but still educational and teaches you about vaudeville. It teaches you about black rights. It teaches you about all these sort of things and the imagery that we kind of miss as kids.
Awareness by comedy is a great way to get things out there, man.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the way he did it in the show too, right? He would be comedic about getting a point across in a sarcastic way, and the Brits love the sarcasm. Yeah. It's kind of like watching Thriller, the music video, but going, I don't want to watch this anymore, right? You can't help but appreciate Thriller for being amazing, and you can't get that thing out of your head because you were raised on it. But
it's a major struggle separating the art from the artist, and I get it. Hosnos, I know you just got back here. Hope everything's okay. Real quick, we're gonna end my talk on Cosby Show, but where would you rate Cosby? Show.
The show.
I just want to make sure I follow that up.
The show.
The Cosby Show separating the
Huxtable show. The Huxtable Show.
I would give it an A.
Okay, we'll keep it there then. All right, so Hosnos, your turn.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm gonna follow Jamie and do not my second, but who's the boss?
Really? All right.
I said it's not my second. I didn't say it's near the top.
So who's the boss? You like the show?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Tony Danza, he's great.
Tony Danza's awesome. I like Tony Danza.
Alyssa Milano.
I love Alyssa Milano.
You had a crush on what's her name from Cheers?
Yep.
No, this was
Yeah. I totally get it.
If you were of that age and you didn't have a crush on Alyssa Milano, you were a liar.
Judith Light?
Steve's a liar, apparently. Yeah, but did you know Alyssa Milano at this time, Steve?
I still don't. Who's Alyssa Milano?
Just Google it, sir.
Okay. I'll save it.
Your search history is safe. Don't worry about it. It's safe.
But this is a show that I definitely remember watching all the time. And the mom, Judith Light, who was the uptight, and then the will they, won't they get together thing. And then you had the mom, Mona. She was awesome.
The saucy mom.
The saucy mom, always saying things a little too risque for
Cougar before Cougars.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the OG Cougar for sure. Puma?
Yeah. Puma?
I want to say Puma.
I don't know what the
borderline.
But anyway, I thought I just remember that show. I can still picture the van driving on the opening.
It's good intro song.
Yeah.
So
so Tony Danza.
I'm going to put that a B.
B. Okay.
I'd put it at a B as well.
Okay.
This one was on my list as well.
To me, it's a C or a D. But
I have a feeling that Hosnose and I are going to be in lockstep on this episode.
Perhaps. I got a curveballs down here.
Well, we'll see for the next one.
I watched this a few times. I think I tuned in for the intro and then Alyssa Milano, and then I was like, it doesn't hold my interest much.
It was a funny show. It was decently well made, and it had like the interesting kind of gender role swapping of Tony Danza.
Oh yeah,
still a manly man. Like it was the 80s, and they didn't make him effeminate in any way, but he was the housekeeper.
Was he a boxer as well in this show?
I don't remember what he did before he was a housekeeper.
I think you're right. Is it a boxer or a baseball player?
Oh, I think it's baseball player.
I think it was
because that was in the intro.
Yeah.
Because I know he's boxer in Taxi, but he was just like Steve 3. You ever watch the show?
No.
So you've never even heard of it?
No.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, I apologize. It wasn't on my radar.
Get out. All right. So anything else?
We only had 3 channels most of my childhood. And when we got the 4th channel, it was because you could watch boobs and stuff, right? It was channel 4. It was crazy and new.
They didn't have the the American equivalent of BritBox in the UK?
No, dude. No.
Yank. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say Yank Box, but I think that's your Channel 4.
Open the
That's where you keep. That's where you keep your Alyssa Milano, whatever her name
You
is.
could hear the word come out, and then I thought about it.
Yeah.
That's where you're walking Yank Box there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
What's in here?
On that
Oh, that's
note.
my Yank box.
Yeah.
Mom, don't open
Those
that.
happy,
It's just
those
American
happy,
football,
happy tissues.
Christ.
Oh no.
Okay, we're gonna step off of that. Steve 3, your turn.
All right. I am going to go. We talked about this earlier, just so you could get me a graphic. But I used to religiously watch a show called Hello, Hello. And this was a episodic comedy show about wartime. And it was about Rene and his wife, which I can't remember the name of. And they run a cafe in France, and they would get heavily involved with hiding British airmen, working with the resistance, trying to avoid the Gestapo, trying to avoid the Germans. And it was just ridiculous. British theatrical actors putting on stupid German accents, stupid French accents, stupid British accents, and having all the fun that you shouldn't really be having with a wartime story, but really making it fun. And it was all about, from what I can remember, and I probably need to watch a few episodes again now I've triggered my memories, but there was a British airman who was a policeman, and he would come by and be the contact, but he was trying to speak French and getting all of the words wrong, which was classic comedy in England, right? Like farts. And then you'd have two British airmen, which they had to look after and keep in the cellar. They would speak very proper English, and the French people would speak French English, but the way they did it was that no one understood anyone. So although we understood what they were saying, they would play like they didn't have a clue. These guys would play like they didn't have a clue. It was just so fun. And then you had two German soldiers that would come in, but they were trying to get one over on, like the Nazis and the SS by smuggling artwork out and trying to keep it to self. And that was how the cafe guy was bribing them, by helping them get the artwork. And it was all about smuggling this portrait that was worth millions of the fallen Madonna with the big boobies. And when you say that a million times, it's so funny for anyone in England. But man, there was the guy, he hated his wife. That was always like a cringe for him. It looked like he was having an affair with the waitress that was in there. But it was just classic 80s British theatrical comedy. It was so much fun. See, these guys
weirdos agree with you. Hello, Hello is a fun show. It sounds like a nicer version of Hogan's Heroes.
Maybe.
It sounds like
maybe.
Do you know Hogan's Heroes?
I do, but I think it was more on the resistance side, though. Was Hogan Heroes the resistance side? Okay.
Hogan's, it was like a wartime thing with the Germans and stuff, but they were actually in the camp. It was fun in a detention camp, but it was I'm really curious about this one now. I want to check this one out a little bit more than
it's 80s sexual innuendo and ridiculous voices and pathetic jokes, but it was good humor at the time, and it was uplifting and good humor about something which is obviously not quite as uplifting and good humor. But check it out, man. I always remember the theme tune too, and that's the other thing I wish we had. I wish we were able to do our own sound bites instead of Rob's recorder bullshit, and we could actually play the theme tunes to these episodes, because that triggers endorphins which make me smile, and I need that right now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad we're going back to do comedy. There you go.
There you go.
You got some farts on there?
Don't.
Okay.
Jamie would not let me get
line?
Jamie would not. No, I'm just like, I
Brian.
didn't want to start what you're doing now. I've been joking about getting a noise box, like hit a button. Go to hell. That sort of thing. So soundboard,
yeah, this isn't
how's it keep up
public
with the news like
radio
that?
in the
That's the
70s.
toy. That's the toy we don't need. If we get one, Rob, I want to control it.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Just
Okay,
ballpark.
so where would you rate this? Hello.
I'm gonna probably put it in it's not an S. I think compared to the other ones I picked, I'll probably put it in an A. Which I know is, I know you can't combat that, and I wish someone could, because I would watch it a lot, and nearly every time it would make me laugh, so I got to give it an A.
The weirdos say noise buttons are a must. Yeah, I agree. All right, perfect. Well, I know that you a couple on your list here I have seen, so it'll be a little easier later down the road. Hose Nose, Oh no, we don't Hozo. Sorry, Jamie.
This one I'm going back to what I would say is a safer pick. I'm gonna say Night Court.
Oh, nice. That's on my
Close notes?
list.
Yep.
Lockstep.
Do,
Yeah,
do,
I knew
do,
it.
do.
Isn't Night
Yes.
Court still going, Jamie?
Technically,
It,
yes.
it came back.
It came back.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
going. I have
It's
coffee
not
with a guy
bad.
that's in it.
It was gone for a long time, and it came back.
It's
but-
not bad. I like the premise of the show now. It's God dang it. Why am I blanking on all these people? I watched this show religiously. I can't remember. Harry Stone's daughter is back in court, and she lures Dan back into doing law. And like John Larroquette's fantastic in it.
He's
So,
hilarious.
Yeah. And then he was my favorite in the original. But sorry, Jamie, go ahead. Talk about Night Court.
Yeah. The cast was crazy.
Yeah.
And Bull the bailiff was hilarious. And then
Okay.
yeah, the judge was great. John Larroquette kind of stole the show, but yeah, the cast around him was really good. And you had awesome Brent Spiner cameos doing comedy.
Oh my God, his character was the
as
best.
the redneck family.
The hillbilly.
Oh my God, he was so funny.
Oh, I loved his character every time he was on.
Yeah, he was amazing. He's a really gifted actor and a really funny comedian. So yeah, it was funny because I don't think I became a really big Star Trek fan when Next Gen came on, and I didn't realize that it was the same actor until I had gone back and watched. I'm like, no. So yeah, that was fun to go back and watch. But yeah, just fun show all around. Yeah, it kind of bucked the trend a little bit of, like law and like court procedural shows with the judge being a goofball. It was great.
So like Judge Judy?
It was way funnier Judge Judy. Judge Judy's uptight.
Judge
Harry
Judy
Stone
doesn't
just-
do close-up magic with the
Yeah.
cards all the time.
Trivia question, Jamie. Who was Harry's favorite musician?
Ooh, I know. Ooh,
Oh,
I
you
would
know?
Steal.
Okay,
Yeah,
Steele.
no.
Steele.
Go to Hose Nose.
Mel Torme.
Mel Torme.
Nice.
That's right. Jose, you watched this one as well, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This was a definite much watch. And that's what Jamie said. Is again, it's kind of like Cheers, where it's just an amazing group ensemble of actors and stories and everything. So
And just a series built around bottle episodes again.
Mhm.
They just, I don't know if they left the courtroom ever.
well, I think
A couple
I don't know if
times.
they did either.
Yeah.
But the
they
other thing
went to
too
a
is
pool hall or something like that.
it sort of bucks the procedural thing, but it also kind of bucks the 80s family sort of sitcom trope that was
Yeah.
out there, right? So
Yeah, you have John Larroquette being the slimy defense lawyer, but he's
Yes.
also hilarious.
So
Yeah.
good. His disdain for every one of his clients. Just friggin' hates every single one of them.
Yeah, John Larroquette is underrated as a comedian.
Do you guys remember hearing about the bailiff curse? They went through two other bailiffs before Bull. No, not before Bull. Sorry, they went to before I can't remember Roz, because there was an old lady who was on the show originally first season, then she passed away. Then there was a second lady that was on the show and she passed away. And then finally Roz made the show and stuck to it. There was always, I remember like they would talk about it, like on Entertainment Tonight or something like that. The curse or something, just because
Dude, Roz was great too.
Roz was fantastic. No nonsense. Don't take any shit. I loved her. That was such a good show. Where do you want to put it, sir?
For me, it's an A. Hosnos, thoughts?
yeah, A.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Request.
S, but I'll definitely take A. Yeah. C3, you ever watch the show?
Hi. No.
No. Check it out. It's actually really good. Check out some of the later seasons.
Like I said, it's out again now, right?
Well, that's just the newer version of it. It's
Right.
It's you can't compare the two. Obviously, it's
Okay.
a different world.
But
It had a
I
great
just
theme
know
song too.
somebody I have coffee with every weekend is in it. Gary Anthony Williams.
Oh yeah, awesome. Okay. On my list here, I'm gonna go a little faster. I'm going to put Taxi. Taxi is. I was recently rewatching all the episodes. It's got a huge cast. Again, crush on Mary Lou Henner, Danny DeVito, Tony Danza,
You have a crush on Danny DeVito?
You have a crush on those two as well?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. It's a weird sort of yank box thing I got going, but it's and obviously you have what you call it. Just you threw me off, guys.
That's right. I think maybe this could be another Canadian staple. You got RedTube, and now you can get Yankbox, and you can just put all the you can put all the co-stars that made your life much better, and just play episodes of it on Yankbox.
They can have a can box, but that'd be kind of like an empty box of Canadian sitcoms. Like
I was going to actually say this to you guys: is like if the stuff you're choosing was there no like 80s comedy like sitcoms from Canada at all?
King of Kensington, I think, was late 70s. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot.
The Red Green Show.
That's 90s.
Sitcom,
That's 90s.
Also 90s. Yeah.
So basically, Canadians just weren't funny in the 80s.
No,
not really. They were all down in the States.
No, we were making more artsy shit like Beach.
I think a lot of the Canadian stuff was a lot like British stuff, right?
Bizarre was good, but I don't think Bizarre was sitcom. It was just
it was more a variety show. Yeah,
and I watched that religiously.
And Degrassi, I felt like was more of a drama than anything else, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hayward was mentioned Degrassi as well. But going back to Taxi, I mean, it was such a great show with such a huge cast, and my favorite, Jim Ignatowski, and he wasn't even on the show for the first 2 seasons because I watched the show from the very first season. He appeared one time as a justice of the peace, doing his Jim Ignatowski stuff. He was just there to marry not Belky. Ladka. Ladka and Balki. He was there to marry Ladka with this prostitute just so Ladka could stay in the country. And that was his only appearance.
Andy Kaufman's character?
Yeah, Andy Kaufman's character. And then he just left. And then he came back, I think, 2 seasons later because they're like, remember that one guy? Let's get him back on the show. And he stole the show after that. I mean, and then you find out like how he got into drugs, and he was such a proper person in college. And then all of a sudden he tries one brownie and he's just losing his shit. And it's so good. I can't say enough good things about Taxi, but we're running out of time here. Did you guys watch Taxi at all? Jamie Posnos?
Little.
Yeah, for sure.
Steve, you watched Taxi?
Yes, I watched Taxi. That was one show that I watched. Woo-hoo! Yeah, it was a late night show for me. I love Danny DeVito in that show, man. It was something I'd never seen before, and he was just such an still is like an angry little man. It was just so funny. It was so funny to watch, and oh my god, I can't.
Christopher Lloyd,
yeah. Christopher Lloyd was in it.
Yep, Jimmy
so good.
Such a fun show. Camp 427, banter. You know, it's just like the New York accents were great. Like I said, had a huge crush on Mary Lou Henner. She was the best.
Do you remember the theme tune to Taxi?
Oh yeah.
See, we got to do theme tune without recorders. Yeah.
Yeah, no recorders, but yeah, theme tune.
Yeah.
All right, I'm giving it an A. What do you think, Steve? 3?
Yeah. It was another fun staple for me, and I wasn't religious on it, so yeah, A is good. All
right, Hose Nose, we're gonna go a little faster here.
Okay, this is my curveball that Jamie and I are gonna fall out of lockstep.
No,
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
You take the good, you take the bad.
Take them both, and there you have. I watched this show a little bit.
Well, I kind of picked this also because I just want to see if you guys watch it and what you thought.
This is one with George Clooney. I remember George Clooney in the show.
And he was in later in the seasons where he was like the carpenter guy. And I had a moment at work the other day where I was having coffee with some people, and I said, like in Facts of Life when George Clooney was there. And I was just like, crickets. Like, oh, I'm so old. They don't understand this reference.
I thought Joe was so freaking cool. The tomboy of the show. I thought she was the coolest.
Name all 4 of them.
There was Joe, Blair, Tootie, and I want to say Mindy, but I'm wrong on that one.
No.
Who was the 4th one?
It was Natalie.
You looking at
Natalie?
You looking it up?
He was looking it up. I can tell.
He's looking it up. I can see him looking it up.
He's Googling.
Because I didn't want to call him out wrong. Mindy Cohen is the actress. Who played Natalie, so that's why you got it.
So
what was it called?
You watched Facts of Life.
Okay.
Facts of Life. And it was a spin-off from Different Strokes.
So was it a spin-off? Because I know that the what's her face was the maid.
Yeah,
but I didn't know they were
Mrs.
related
Garrett.
with the show. Yeah, Miss Garrett. Oh, it was Garrett. It was both on both shows. That's right.
And then I think that actress passed, and then they got another matron later on in the seasons.
So where would you rate this? Where would you rate this then?
Oh, that's a B.
B? Okay. You guys watch the show at all? Jamie?
No, I'm just judging
Very
by
little.
your reactions.
Very little.
I wasn't a fan of the show. I just remember watching it a couple times, but I'll let you have the B. I'm not going to argue with you on this one. I'll move it back up to B.
See, I had an older sister who I think related with some of these ladies in the show, and that's why we watched it.
Didn't they have like another kid come on the show? Was it Joey Lawrence or something?
Wasn't Joey Lawrence. That was Blossom.
No, I know Joey Lawrence was on Blossom too, but I swear it was another. It was like a Joey Lawrence lookalike or something like that. So, anyways, C3.
Yes, sir.
Your turn.
Okay, I will. I'll go with one which, again, I'll go with one you guys have heard of. That's going to make it easier, right? Then I don't have to talk for ages to explain it. So let's go with. I got two more left that I can go with that you recognize. I'm going to start with this one because I think everyone's going to love it. Blackadder with Rowan Atkinson.
I was just watching that yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Rowan Atkinson, but Tony Robinson, Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry, Miranda Richardson. Like, it was brilliant. And the changes between each season, where they step into different roles, but the same characters, but in a time, it was brilliant. Absolutely
The
brilliant.
different eras. They're amazing. What was your favorite era?
I think there's a couple. I absolutely adore the I think it's the fourth season where they're in World War One. Like that one, that one was just, I adore that one. But the first season to me is a kind of a classic because he was the little dweeb, but it's difficult because the character grows and grows and grows into different characters, so it's so hard to pick one. Fourth, it just has so many emotions in fourth, especially the last episode, Rob. The last episode.
Okay, what I'm telling you, the last episode is probably it's like so good.
Yeah,
they showed that in my British history class in university. The guy sat down and he showed us the show. And he goes, "You need to understand this." So,
and the way they ended it was, I think, probably the first time that it just cut to black.
Yeah,
it was just nuts. Oh shoot, I've done the hand signal. Sorry. There we go. It was brilliant. I mean, Baldrick was just hilarious. Blackadder himself was hilarious. I think all of the characters were just hilarious. So for me, like the Prince Regent was just, come on.
Queenie.
Queenie
was so good. Miranda Richardson, so good. So and the nursey. Well, the nurse.
What was her? I just watched this episode where they talk about her real name is like Gerald or something like that. All the kids were named off of men.
But she was just so like out of it, just like opium bound. You can just tell the things that came out of her mouth were just brilliant. Just I don't think I could name a season that I didn't enjoy.
Rob knows this, but I'm not big on Christmas, but the Blackadder Christmas special is a yearly watch for me.
Yeah. Totally.
And you're talking about the Queenie's sidekick, the nurse. Watching her happily in her own little world tearing up Christmas decorations because the Queen has canceled Christmas because she's pissed off is the funniest thing to me.
Yeah. I guess the challenge would be is to watch a few episodes from each season and see if you just don't like a season based on the characters, because they just change so much.
The bit in the World War I season, Blackadder Goes Forth, when he explains how a landmine works, is friggin' hilarious. It's some of the best comedy writing and acting in any sitcom.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Steve, did you watch it?
Not as much as you guys, but yeah, I've caught a few episodes.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely a classic one to watch. I think if we were to pick an episode of the ones we've picked to watch, I think the last one of Blackadder Go Forth would be the one you've got to watch. It's so good.
Rick Mayall played Flashheart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played
and Brian Blessed was.
Yeah, Brian Blessed. Yeah.
Blackadder!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Squadron
God, so-
40. I had to explain who
Stephen
Brian
Fry and
Blessed
Hugh
was the other
Laurie
day.
in there, right? Oh my god!
Yeah,
Did
Stephen
you
Fry and
explain
Hugh
it?
Laurie.
Did you
Yeah.
explain Brian Blessed as Boss Nass from Star Wars Episode 1?
No, I didn't. I started with Flash Gordon, and I was like, Brian,
Nice.
it's Brian Blessed. You know, Brian Blessed. Gordon's alive. Like,
Have you ever seen, on a bit of a tangent, have you ever seen Brian Blessed explain being in the Arctic on an Arctic adventure and punching a
I have
polar bear
not.
in the face?
No, that just sounds like
Watch.
something I want on a T-shirt.
Do
Oh,
yourself a
God.
favor and YouTube that, just him
Oh, God,
telling
I
that
gotta
story.
find that now.
Because like
Wow.
he's quite the adventurer, which is weird because he's like a comedy actor, right? But basically, like if you adventure in that part of the world, you know that if you see a polar bear, it's probably already too late. They've already been following you for a couple days, and he's going to kill and eat you. So just the story of Brian Blessed punching a polar bear right in the face is some of the funniest shit.
Wow.
He has climbed Everest, and I remember
Yeah.
people talking because of his lung
He's
capacity
insane.
is so large.
Yeah, he was in an episode of Blake 7 we were watching, so it's a very, very young.
That's funny.
It all
theatrical
comes
blind
back
person.
to that.
Yeah,
all comes
and that's
back
why I
to
was trying to
Blake
explain to Ali who Brian Blessed was, and I was like, you know the guy, you're Flash Gordon. And again, Flash Gordon's a movie that she probably wouldn't remember.
Boss Nass, Allie. Boss Nass.
All right, so A.
I honestly, I think Blackadder's above. I think Blackadder's an S.
I think it might
I
be
think
an S.
because of all the things I just said, is like every series was great, every actor was bang on, the comedy was well written, and there's some timeless pieces in there which you can't forget. So to me, it's an S.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I love it. It's on
Even-
Tubi, except for season
Have you
1.
seen the Christmas special?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much watched them all.
Nice.
What do you think of the
That's-
newer ones
love
that
it.
came out?
What, the specials that came out or the newer
Yeah.
series?
I think they had a newer. Didn't he do some other ones much later? I think around
There's
special
probably
time?
ones they did for like comedy specials for like Red Nose Day or something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have watched those. Anything when I'd left England, it was hard to watch anything that was a special. So
Gotcha.
anything that came out then, I wouldn't have watched. But growing up in the 80s, like and into the probably went into the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
So
Awesome. Hosnos.
Elf.
Alf. Oh my lord,
Alf.
Alf. Okay, Alf. There we are. We're running out of time here, so I think we can only
B.
do this one. B. Okay. I have disagreements on this one, but go for it. Explain your
I don't know.
reasoning.
I just love that puppet. And I
Me and
remember,
Hosnos are in lockstep.
I don't know if I was a smart kid or not, but I was like, was that real? What's going on? Yeah. I love the.
He was everywhere.
And
In
wasn't
pop
the
form
neighbor?
even.
Didn't the nosy neighbor woman? Wasn't that played by the same woman who played Seinfeld's mom?
I don't know.
I think that's where I know her from.
Remember
And
that.
it's like
I'm checking it out right
She's
now.
from Alf.
I just remember
check
I'm always
that.
trying to eat the cat.
I
Yes.
totally know Alf, but I don't remember any episode. I totally know it, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
anything.
it was in
Do
the
you know he's
zeitgeist.
back
but
in
that's about
pog
it.
form?
made
He's
the
back.
It was what?
That's a Simpsons reference.
He's back in pod
Oh.
form.
And yeah, what planet was he from?
Melmac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the show for a little bit. The dad pissed me off, and Alf was just a little bit too annoying for me.
Did he piss you off because you didn't have a crush on him?
Yeah, totally. The glass.
There's no one on that show.
It was like Shelley Long in a suit. He was too uptight, and it was just
There it
driving me
is.
nuts.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Speaking of no one for the Yang Banks, Tony
You
just
won't
asked
find
why,
him in the
why,
Yank box.
why no
Yeah.
why no Golden Girls?
Tony, stop jumping ahead, man.
Look, that's Tony's Yank Bank, I guess. But where would you put Hosnos? Where would you put Alf on this list?
I give
Yeah,
it a
that's a-
solid B.
A
Still,
C?
B.
A B.
For
Sorry.
Brilliant.
Okay, so Jamie, do
No.
you like this show too?
It was on my list.
It was on your list.
I was going to
All right.
call it
Okay.
a C.
Okay,
You're going to call it C?
Rob, what would you have called it?
D.
Oh,
So
Steve,
it's-
you know
so
the
it's a
rules
But you
are
know what?
majority rules.
I'm not gonna crap on Steve's good times. I'm gonna keep
You
it a
can
B.
crap all you want.
No, I'm. It's not my type of show. I didn't watch enough of it, but
Here's the thing. Here's why you got to look at it. Could you honestly say that Alf was as good or as bad as that other one with the what I can't remember what it's called. I've forgotten already.
Perfect Strangers?
Perfect Strangers, yeah.
it's about the same, if not worse.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Alf, you
that's
think
what I was
Alf's worse
saying,
than if Alf's worse than Perfect Strangers,
What
then it
about
has
the
to go to
same?
a C.
Yeah, same or
I can
worse.
live with that. C's fine. I
Okay.
could.
There you go.
It's not going to change your opinion of it. It's not all of a sudden like, well, now I hate it. Yeah. Tony giving it a B.
I do
for
whatever
sure.
you guys do.
Oh yeah, that's right. Totally. That sounds just like you. All right. So I think this is the last one here because we're running out of time. Let's see here. Where is it here? WKRP in Cincinnati. I love this show. I love the cast. I like shows that have a large cast. Taxis like that. Cheers. I mean, a lot of these do have large casts, but except for Alf. But WKRP. There's so much great stuff from this show that from the turkeys to Les Nessman's Chai Chai Rodriguez and the tape he puts on the floor for his imaginary walls. It's just everything. Like they're doing a remote at a TV store promoting the TV store, and they get robbed live on air, and it's just so good. Herb Tarlick's killing the turtle by accident. It's I could go on. I have so many fond memories of
The
this.
turkey drop.
The
Turkey drop is iconic.
Classic. Yeah.
It's
that's classic.
Every Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, it pops on there. But I have so many great memories of other stuff. I mean, I liked everybody in the cast. I mean, Lonnie Anderson was fantastic, but Bailey Quarters was like the grounding person in that show, the one that just kind of kept everybody together, but they didn't realize it. And Travis had the tightest pants in the world. I remember as a kid, like, holy crap, his jeans are so tight. So, anyways,
as was the style at the time.
As was the style.
I like, what was the old hippie rebel guy?
Oh,
Dr. Johnny Fever.
Dr. Johnny Fever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Booger.
He was funny.
Venus Flytrap. So good. It's even in the song Generation X-Wing. Talking about Venus Flytrap. Hey Weirdos, love KRP, but when you watch it now, it's definitely, I would assume there's some cringe moments. It's late 70s, early 80s, and a lot of it does not hold up, I would assume. It's been a while since I've sat back and watched it, but
isn't that 40 years old?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're in their 70s and 80s now, most of them.
Isn't that crazy?
Not passed on. Yeah. It's
40 years.
Yeah. Stop making me feel old.
Well, it's funny because I was looking at
decades.
Taxi and I was trying to see, like, they're all in their 70s and 80s, but I was trying to see how old were they when the shows aired. They were in their 30s. They were in their 30s and they look like they were in their 60s to me as a kid. Like Danny DeVito's always looked like he's been in his 60s. Now he's just catching up to his age. But it's just like, anyways, I love WKRP. I don't know if you guys watched it at all.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
It was always on CBC.
CBC, really?
Yeah, I remember it being on CBC. So even if you didn't have cable, you always got WKRP.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever. I love that song. So I would sing that all the time.
But who has not taped out walls and pretended it's
I
their
kind of
office?
want to do that now in my classroom.
Oh, Steve hasn't done that.
I want to put I can't put tape on the floor because of linoleum. The custodian will get mad at me. But I want to put like fake walls on here, and you have to pretend to knock or something as you come in. Anyways, I rated a B. I don't know what you guys would rate it. Jamie?
I would agree with B.
How's nose?
I was gonna say A, but back to B because of the cringe.
Well, I'm very curious to see what it's like. I want to go back and watch a few more episodes and see what it's like. Yeah, I could talk on and on, but we're looking at the time and we're running out, and it's just like, seriously, love this show. It's one of the reasons I love Cincinnati. That the Reds, it got me to like the Reds. I find out that later Hasbro, I think Kenner was based in Cincinnati, and
They were.
Yeah. Anyways, I was cheering for the Reds at the time, just because of him and Johnny Bench, and I don't even like baseball. But all right, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna close this up. This is a good list. I think we can continue this list later on. I think we got to try and find off air, try and find an episode for each other to watch. Just something
some theme songs if we can incorporate those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to do a little blast of the theme
We
song.
could do.
You know,
we could do trivia
maybe
with that.
I was going to say maybe I could do a trivia, but I don't know if I'm able to do it or not in time. But I would love to do a trivia of just playing a clip similar to Jamie's.
Well, the John Williams.
Songs.
Yeah.
You can pick the 1, 2, 3 and play it. But I honestly, I'm not saying I'm the most important man. Though. I wouldn't have time to do that for the next episode. But I'd love to do that or help do that, where we can just get some theme tunes together and you just play a clip of the theme tune. That would be great.
I'll look into that. I'll look into that.
Because you might even recognize a theme tune for a show if you haven't watched the show, right? So
I'll even put some Brit ones in there too, because it does, Brit tunes hold up and stuff. So
you'd have to.
That reminds me, before we wrap it up, I want to talk about your trophy. So I'm putting a trophy. It's like I still got Kneel Before Zod right here.
Oh, that one. I thought you meant okay.
Yeah, so your Kneel Before Zod trophy. I wanted to get you a version for yourself that you can hold on to at home, and you can.
But only put it up behind me when I win.
Exactly. So
okay,
I went to I bought the Kneel Before Zod. Thanks for the tip by Hose Nose. I got that guy figured out. I'm going to glue it on a trophy. But the trophy I went to get engraved, and I got it back 2 days ago. Well, I went to pick it up 2 days ago, and they asked me, "What do you want on it?" I said, "Kneel Before Zod." Wrote it out, nice bold letters. So because I know that you have to spell it properly in nice bold letters, so they don't want to misunderstand letters, right?
What did they do?
They instead of putting Kneel Before Zod, they put Kneel Before 20D with exclamation marks.
What?
The number 2, the number 0. And the letter D.
20D? Kneel before 20D?
And I was like, this is wrong. And I know what happened. They thought the Z was a 2 and the 0 was a number.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The zeros have lines through them.
Well, that's not how they do it here. But any which way.
Things? Why not? Yeah.
So I almost wanted to keep it though, and I'm kicking myself. I didn't keep it.
But you should, because now you've told us the story. Now it will live on in legend forever.
I know. I'm frustrated. I didn't.
My suggestion was keep it, make it also into a trophy, and that one goes to last place.
Oh, dude, I know, but that would be perfect for me to get, because 9 times out of 10 I'm in last place. I think that's brilliant, Rob.
My God.
I know you've done the right thing. I get it, but that would have been brilliant.
My anger for good customer service took over a good comedy bit, and I'm a little frustrated because that age got in the way of good comedy in that one. So
it wasn't even D20, it was 20D.
It was 20D, like 20-sided dice, and I think Hose Nose would have appreciated that. Mm-hmm. So
no, that would have been a D20. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't even D20, it was 20D.
20D.
Yeah.
There's a dick joke in there too as well. So
I feel like we just need to we need to run with it and make a shittier trophy
for Steve.
The Kneel Before Tude.
Yeah.
20D.
Yeah.
All right.
Neil will probably be NEIL or something.
Oh God. Neil. Oh my God.
B competition.
Number 4. Oh my God.
You present the Kneel Before Zod trophy, but then you also present the Kneel Before Tude trophy.
Tude. 20. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, well, I appreciate
like
you doing all of that.
Spell like Tony just did right here. Kneel before 20. Tude.
20.
I like
Tude. 20.
Tude sounds good. So.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, we're gonna wrap it up here. That was good. I like that. Good suggestion, Hose. I think we got a couple more episodes coming out of that one somehow, some way, and I will look into doing trivia for the Kneel Before Tude. But Jamie, we'll start with Hose Nose. Hose Nose, where can we find you?
Only on the Instagram at Hose Nose Paints for all your mediocre D&D figures.
Woo! Mediocre.
I thought you were about to say OnlyFans. You're like OnlyFans. You've started an OnlyFans.
He does Shelley Long cosplay.
Yeah, that's why the beard is growing. That's for the.
I was going to say the beard's long, but it's not that long, Steve.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't painted anything in a while. I might even just stop my Instagram thing because I'm not doing jack. I'm getting distracted by other projects.
In a good way, I'm assuming.
In a good way. Well, this is for 3 right here. If you can identify what this is.
Oh, can you embiggen him?
No.
Oh. That looks like something.
It's the head of old Bob from
Kind of.
Black
Yeah.
Hole.
Yeah, it's not though.
Nope.
I know that.
I can't make it out from that.
Well, you're no longer British.
Hmm.
That's
Is
a
it
clue.
Is it the Queen?
Is it something
Yes.
from Blake
Hello.
7? Something
No.
from Blake 7, right?
You'll see soon enough. Not soon enough. You'll see one day.
Doctor Who related?
Anyway,
Yeah,
Jamie, where can we find you?
Give me a clue on what it's related to, and I'll make a guess.
What?
it
I
a
feel like your
show?
clue was him
Is it a
showing
show,
you the
a
actual
movie?
thing.
The clue was actually him sharing it.
Here's another part
Literally
of it.
showing you.
Let
Give me a
see
clue.
that.
Tell me what it is.
It's another
Oh, I know what
piece.
it is. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. And I don't even.
This makes for great radio, everybody listening in.
I know exactly what it is.
Is it a turret for Hoth?
Yes,
Oh my
that's
God.
exactly what it is. There, we'll stick with that. We'll stick
Anyway,
with that.
moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
In the radio, if you can guess what it is and you haven't seen it and you get it before Steve does, then maybe we got to find a prize for you.
You
So,
get his
Steve,
British citizenship.
Steve 3, where can we find you?
Hey, people might want that right now.
Steve 3, where can we find you?
Yeah, Instagram. Shit's back on up at far. Steve 3D. And at WonderCon.
Oh, yes, you're at WonderCon. And Hose knows you'll be at Island Fan Con with me and Jamie in 2 weeks.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome.
Yes.
1 week.
Less,
1 week.
less than, basically 1 week.
One-ish week. Yeah.
I should clean my house.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes for you, Steve. 3.
I'm looking forward to it too. It's going to be fun. And you know what's really scary is in 2 weeks, I'm off to Japan, and that's going to be super scary.
And super
Super scary.
It's going to be so amazing. Yeah. Jamie, where can we find you?
You can find me on Yankbox, but also on YouTube. No laughs, nothing, man. God, Yankbox is going to be a thing. I'm
So where you say we can find you on Yankbox? Are you starring on Yankbox, or are we just find you communicating?
Is this like an OnlyFans thing?
It sounds like a knockoff OnlyFans, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But like trashier, I don't know. Anyways, you can find me on YouTube on the ongoing Generation X-Wing podcast YouTube channel, YouTube video series called Ready to Believe. We are now ambassadors for Tools and Talent.
Woo-hoo. All right. As for me, Outer Rim Rookie, the Outer Rim Rookie show on our YouTube channel. Video came out recently of the Fan Expo Day 1 and Day 2. Hey, weirdos, they're in the house, by the way. Check out Day 3. They just put a video for a Day 3 of Fan Expo. Fantastic people. Weirdos, by the way, you also made the Outer Rim Garrison video just recently on Handler 101. So if you want to watch that video on Outer Rim Garrison, I popped you guys in there, as well as Lady Di. I slid Lady Di in there as well. So
nice.
So there you go. And Outer Rim Garrison, if you were ever interested, their YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. And next week we're going to be talking about my movie pick. I'm so excited about this. The Quick and the Dead, starring Sharon Stone and the late great oh my God! What's wrong with my Gene Hackman? What is wrong?
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
I am
Russell Crowe.
so
Gene
professional.
Hackman.
You're all dead.
Why we get the ambassadors right here. So, all right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Elbows up.
Elbows up. We got to do a quick intro for the show, and then we'll wrap it up. This is you guys know how it works now. Episode 456. I was talking to our viewers. Sorry.
Oh.
It is episode it is episode 456 of the Generation X-Wing podcast, and we're talking about 80 sitcoms. We're going to rank them in a tier list from S to D, so stay tuned.
Hashtag Yankbox.
Hashtag Yankbox.
20D.
Hashtag Yankbox.
Kneel before Tude.
Hashtag Tude. God damn, I'm mad that I sent that back now. I'll go back and say, could you change it back to the way it was?
Can I have the plaque, though? Can I have the plaque?
I sent it back. Their brains now and be like, I would like this for my next order. And it's Kneel before Tude.
And just make it, just draw it out with a 2 and a 0.
and they'll
And a
spell
D.
it properly.
Yeah, and then,
because
Yeah.
then
they'll
you'll
be,
get
it's supposed
Neil
to be
before
ZOD.
Zod. You're like, nope, that's wrong.
Some Star Wars fans like that, or Superman fans like,
So
oh yeah, it's supposed to be
confused.
Zod. Someone misspelled that. Oh,
Well, maybe
man.
I'll just make myself a T-shirt that says "I am a winner of the Neil before 20D trophy."
Sorry, I sneezed. All right, we got to wrap it up. Thanks for
We just
everybody
did.
watching live. Really,
Yeah.
well, no, yeah, but now we're wrapping up the live version of it. So thanks for everybody who tuned in live. As always, Tony, weirdos, you're awesome. Hey, baby, and I know I saw
VJ, baby.
VJ was VJ baby. Vexy was here. Trip was here.
Trip.
Thank you guys. Trip, by the way, you probably saw my son. I don't know if Hosnos did. My son came to your the IMAX. Was it just before spring break? His whole school went in to see the IMAX. So there's a whole like 4 classes came in. My
That would
son was
mean
part
I
of
would
that.
have to come above ground, leave my office, and come above ground.
Well, there you go. I know
When there's
Trip was might have been
children
there.
around. No thanks.
I specifically told him to go find you. So, what you doing, mister? All right, we're going to wrap it up. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay, bye now.
Bye. And we're out.